With the AFL season coming to a close, it is time to work out who is going to make the top 8, and to do that we need the ladder predictor. So today we're going to be going through the AFL's website to work out how and who is going to be in that final 8 by predicting with some ridiculously outlandish predictions who will be in the 4, who will be in the 8, and who will be unlucky and miss out. Now, first of all, let's just have a quick look at the current ladder, because right now we saw Melbourne lose a shocking game yesterday. Oh my goodness, Melbourne, what are they doing? They've blown their entire season up. Or have they? That's what we're going to work out right now, because the remainder of the round we've got 3 more games. The Giants, they should beat the Crows, and that would propel them into 7th position there. I mean, they're technically not even out of the top 4 race with 2 games to go, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. And Carlton and Sydney. Now, this is a really tricky one. We're not going to work too much on the margins here because we feel like, the percentages aren't going to change too much. But this is a game, Carlton, I mean, if they win it, are they any hope? I mean, probably not. And Sydney have been one of the sides that have surprised this year. They've brought in so many young players, and they're going to be very good very quickly. They've got a lot of upside in 2021. But surely, if Carlton have made any sort of movement this year, they win this game. I mean, you just have to think they win this game, but you never know. Papley could kick 6 and then become a Blue next year. But maybe with the Swans holding him to his contract, he'll stick around till 2022 like he's supposed to. Now, the last game of the round is the Q Clash, which is surprising that it's taken so long to actually play it out, given we've had so many games in Queensland this year. Brisbane should get that job done, and that would put them inside 2nd position, which would mean they'd be hosting a home final if they go on to win their next 2 games as well. But this is what we kind of have the round looking like at the end of round 15. All of the buys would be done. So now pretty much at this point, you're a level pegging with everyone else. Your destiny is in your hands. If this is how the ladder looks at the end of the season, then blimey. There you go. Next round. Round 17 is going to set up everything though, because let's look at this. 2 massive games to start us off. St Kilda versus West Coast. The winner gives themselves a top 4 opportunity, while the loser is out of the top 4 race for good. Although I don't think either of them can really make the top 4, to be honest. Because if St Kilda win this game, have a look at what this does. Richmond, they've got 2 games in hand then, and they're probably going to beat Adelaide in the last round. So that pretty much locks in the top 4 if St Kilda beat the West Coast Eagles. However, if the West Coast Eagles beat St Kilda, which is what I think will happen, they'll have a lot of players coming back this Thursday, the West Coast, so they might be a little more fresh than St Kilda, is they'll propel themselves into the 4 and really put the pressure on the Tigers to perform well against Geelong. And now this is also a massive game which could shape not only the top 4 but the entire final series, which is Geelong versus Richmond. Now Geelong, they're probably going to make the 4 regardless of whether they win or lose this game, but the Tigers, they need to win in order to make the 4. So that's why I'm picking them, as a Richmond man myself, to win this game. Next up, we've got North and Fremantle. If it's a low-scoring game, which I think it's probably going to be, the Dockers will win. Port Adelaide should beat Essendon. The margin's probably going to be a blowout. Let's be honest, Essendon has come up with nothing this year, and we saw the retirement of Connor McKenna today, so he's done and dusted for the Bombers. Now, once again, another 8-point game here, which is GWS taking on the Demons. You think the Ds would have to be super flat with how they've performed this year, and they're probably going to go on and once again lose this game and really just bury any sort of hope they had of playing finals this year. While the Blues should beat the Crows, the Dogs keep their finals chances alive. Brisbane should take down the Swans, and the Pies should take down the Suns. And look at this. With 1 round to go, there is so much up for grabs for not only the 4, but the 8. And I'm going to change this game here, just for the fraction, to see how big of a game this is, this Geelong-Richmond game, and even this St Kilda West Coast game. Because if the Eagles win, not only does it give them that top 4 chance, but it gives St Kilda no margin for error in the last round. However, if it's the other way around, we see that, the top 4 set. Same with this one. I've kind of spoken about this twice now, but let's go back to the way I think it's going to play out. Although, to be honest, I probably think Geelong's going to beat the Tigers because they're a very, very good side, the Cat. Now, we head to the last round of the season, which we don't know the order of how this is going to be played out, but it is an interesting one to see how it actually does happen. So let's try and make this as strategic, dramatic finish as we can. So the Tigers will beat the Crows, we know that. Brisbane will beat Blues. Then Melbourne, even if they beat the Bombers, they'll be out of it by this point. We'll give the Dogs the win for now to see whether they can hold their spot in the 8. Then the Suns and the Hawks. Geez, Hawthorn's been pretty good lately. Gold Coast have been a bit iffy since the start of the year. Maybe Hawthorn are able to pull off a victory there. West Coast should beat North, and then let's say Geelong beat Sydney. So this is where we sit with a couple of games to go in this last round, and I'm going to look at these two key matchups in the final round to go who actually makes the 8. The first one being Collingwood versus Port Adelaide here, because Port Adelaide, I mean, if they lose this game, there's a chance that they are not inside the top 2 if the Cats beat Richmond the week prior, so that could lose them their Adelaide Oval home final rights. The other side of the coin is if they do win, they secure the minor premiership, they will play at the Adelaide Oval. So this is a very interesting battle, and for the Pies, their season is on the line. They're playing for a spot in the finals. I don't know where this game's going to be played. I don't think we know where any of these games are going to be played, but I'm assuming it'll probably be the Gabba. That's Collingwood's home venue pretty much this year. So let's say the Pies somehow go on to win this game and beat Port Adelaide, who will then finish second based on the way we've predicted things. Then the last game of the round, which will determine who makes the final 8, which will be St Kilda versus the GWS Giants right here. This will probably be at maybe Metricon or even the Gabba, given it's a St Kilda home game. And the Saints, geez, if they haven't got themselves locked in the 8 from the week prior, this is the game that is really going to test them, because GWS, they'll want to lock in a spot in the finals, and they could almost get a home final. I mean, it'll probably be in Queensland anyway, over Collingwood if they were to win. If we go the other way, the Saints will knock out the Dogs from the top 8 there, although look at how close this percentage is. So if St Kilda would have beat the Giants by maybe 3 goals plus, then it all of a sudden knocks them out there. So you can see how close these final couple of rounds are going to be to see who makes the 8. Corey's been telling me all week the Dogs are going to make the finals. He thinks they're going to replace Collingwood, which was what will happen if Port Adelaide go on to win this game. But I think the Pies are going to win. They'll secure a spot in the finals. And I think maybe St Kilda will be the unlucky side to miss out on the top 8. So there you have it, everyone. This is what I've ended up with for my ladder predictor. Brisbane, Port, Richmond, Geelong, followed by West Coast, GWS, Collingwood, and the Western Bulldogs. Jeez, it makes for a really interesting series. I just want, whenever you do this, you're like, what about this game? What about that game? But no, I'm going to stick to my guns. This is what I'm calling it. Could be right, could be wrong, probably will be wrong. And that's what you love about football, because nothing is easy, nothing is predictable, but at the end of the day, it's going to be an exciting finish, and that's what I love to see. And especially as someone who's been locked up for a while, it's exciting to see something that is a bit exciting for once. So that's going to be it for today's video, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Fingers crossed your side makes the top 8, gets to play in a few finals, and I would like to think my side will do the same. Go the Tigers, but good luck to all sides, and fingers crossed we get not only a good last couple of rounds, but we get a quality final series, even with reduced quarters and it all being away from where it normally would be. So hope for a good end of the season, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.